Hello students, myself Amrita Roy. Today we are going to study about the second part of the filter circuits. So first let us go through the contents. So we are going to study about the constant K prototype filters, constant K filter designs, active filters, advantages and disadvantages of active over passive filters and their applications. So what is constant K prototype filter? So constant K filters are basically a form of filter that is designed using what is termed as an image method. The constant K filters are the original and simplest filters produced by this methodology and consist of a ladder network of identical sections of passive components. The building block of constant K filters is half section L network composed of a series impedance Z and a shunt admittance Y. The constant K filter gain its name in the mathematical way between the series and shunt impedances, that is, it is given by the relation K square equals to Z by Y. So, the constant K filters also have the following advantages and disadvantages. The constant K filters are easy to design, simple equations are basically employed, and the filter attenuation is the stop band that tends to infinity at frequencies that are distant from the cutoff frequency. The following are the disadvantages. That is, the filter attenuation increases very slowly, and this means that the passband and stop band are always not well defined. There are significant impedance variations with frequency even within the passband. If impedance matching is required, then this can also be an issue and may need to be overcome, possibly with the use of attenuators, although this reduces the signal level. So, here are the following K filter designs. First one is the low pass filter. As the name suggests that the constant K low pass filter enables lower frequencies to pass relatively unattenuated while it rejects the higher frequency signals, that is, those above the cutoff frequency. So in the following circuit diagram, we can see that the passive low pass filter consists of a resistance and a capacitance. So the resistance and capacitance are basically forming the perfect circuit diagram for a passive K-type low pass filter. So as the name suggests, it will allow the passage of low frequency signals through it, and it will reject the flow of higher frequency signals. So in the following diagram, we can see it is passing the low frequency DC signals and filtering out the high frequency AC signals. In the given graph, we can see that the x-axis is representing the frequency and the y-axis is representing the output or the gain. The gain can be obtained by the value 20 log V output by V input. So when we are plotting the graph, the shaded green portion is basically representing the passage of low frequency signals, and on the right hand side, that is after the or above the cutoff frequency, it is rejecting the high frequency signals to pass through it. So it is represented by -3 decibel at 45 degrees with a slope of -20 decibel per decade. The shaded green portion is basically called the pass band, and the rejection of higher signals, that is above the cutoff frequency, is representing the stop band. That is, the blue shaded region is representing the stop band, and the cutoff frequency is represented by FC. Now when we look at the phase plot, we can see that the phase is representing the y-axis and the x-axis is represented by the frequency. So in the y-axis, we can see that the phase is starting from 0 degrees and slowly it is moving towards the negative part of the frequency shift. That is, it is moving from 0 degrees to then -45 degrees and then to -90 degrees. So it is allowing the passage of low frequency signals and rejecting the flow of high frequency signals. So as it allows the passage of low frequency signals, so it is passing from 0 degrees to -45 degrees to the rejection of high frequency signals, and so it is moving towards -90 degrees. Next is the K-type high pass filter. So as the name suggests, it basically passes the high frequencies and rejects the passage of low frequency signals. So in the given diagram we can see that the high pass filter is basically connected in a reverse way that of a low pass filter. That is, here the first passive element is the capacitor, connected in parallel with the capacitor is a resistance. So here only high frequencies are allowed to pass. So if we set a mirror in front of a low frequency, that is if we place a mirror in front of the graph of a low pass filter, we will see the frequency response of a high pass filter is basically the opposite to that of a low pass filter. That is, here the blue phase, that is from here the blue shaded region is basically blocking the passage of low frequencies, and the green shaded part is allowing the passage of high frequency signals. So as the slope rises at -3 decibel per second, that is at plus 20 dB per decade, at above the cutoff frequency, it will allow the passage of high frequency AC signals. So the blue shaded region is called the stop band because it is rejecting the flow of low frequency signals, and on the right hand side, that is the green shaded portion, is representing the pass band, that is it is allowing the flow of high frequency signals. So if we look at the shaded portion, phase component or the phase representation of the high pass filter, we will see that the phase is starting from plus 90 degrees and is ending at 0 degrees. That is, high frequency signals is representing a phase of starting from plus 90 degrees and is moving slowly towards plus 45 degrees and then finally towards 0 degrees. So this is basically the graph representation of a high pass filter. Next one is the band pass filter. As the name suggests, that it will pass only a band of selected frequencies through it and will reject the flow of reject the passage of other frequency range. That is, the passband constant K filter has a band of frequencies and it allows through the filter, and other frequencies are attenuated. So in the given graph we can see that it allows the passage of a certain range of frequencies, and that is represented by the shaded green portion, which we are calling the pass band. And on both sides of the pass band we are seeing that the blue shaded region is representing the stop band. So the stop band is basically rejecting the passage of a selected range of frequencies that we don't want to select for the filter, and the pass band is basically allowing the passage of a range of frequencies that we want to use or that is necessary for the given output. So the bandwidth is basically composed of two range of frequencies, the two extreme ranges, that is the lower cutoff frequency and the higher cutoff frequency. The lower cutoff frequency and higher cutoff frequencies together gives the range of the bandwidth, and the middle portion, that is the center of those two frequencies, is known as the center frequency. So here as the slope is increasing at 20 decibel per second, we are getting a cutoff frequency, that is lower cutoff frequency at -3 decibel, and at the point where the higher cutoff frequency is obtained, the slope is slowly decreasing at the rate of -20 decibel per decade. So if we plot the represent the phase plot, we will see that as the frequency decreases as the frequency decreases from a certain value, so the phase will start from -90 degrees, slowly it will move towards a certain point, that is 0, and at the center frequency, and slowly the curve will represent the lower cutoff after that the point where the phase keeps on decreasing will reach a value of -90 degree. So this is basically defined as the band pass filter frequency range, and here is given the graph for both the phase plot and the amplitude plot for the band pass filter. And the last one is the band stop filter. The band stop filter will basically reject a band of frequencies and it will allow the passage of another band of frequencies to for the given output. So here a band stop filter or band rejection filter is basically a filter that passes most frequencies unaltered but attenuates those in a specific range to very low levels. It is opposite to that of a band pass filter. It is also called as a notch filter, and a notch filter is also a band stop filter with a narrow stop band. So in the given graph we can see that it is just opposite to that of a band pass filter. We are just representing the band stop filter in just an opposite way. That is, the graph shown in the previous slide was that the middle portion of the graph was in a green shaded region, where we are rejecting the green shaded region in this middle portion and we are allowing the passage of frequencies on the right and left hand sides, that is on the above the range of the cutoff frequencies. That is, here we are getting the shaded portion in between the low frequency range and also in the shaded portion of the high frequency range, but not in at the center frequency range. So the bandwidth basically here is acting as the stop band, and the remaining portion of the graph is actually representing the pass band. So if we plot the phase graph, we will see that the graph is slowly increasing towards negative half at 90 degrees, from 0 degree to minus 90 degrees, and slowly it is increasing from the minus 90 degrees to plus 90 degrees and decreasing again. So this is basically the representation of band stop filter in graph format. Next one is the active filters. An active filter is basically a type of analog circuit implementing an electronic filter using active components. That is, it is typically an amplifier. So that amplifiers included in a filter design can be used to improve the cost, performance and predictability of a filter. An amplifier also prevents the load impedance of the following stage from affecting characteristics of the filter. So basically we use active filters using op-amps, because for that we will get the gain output because the gain output will be much higher if we use a active filter, because for an op-amp the gain is always very high on the output side. So an active filter has few advantages over the passive filters. So let us see what are those. Active filters can also be designed to provide required gain and hence no attenuation in case of passive filters. And it has also no loading problem because of high input resistance and low output resistance of op-amp. Also, the active filters are cost effective as a wide variety of economical op-amps are available. Similarly, here are the following disadvantages of active filters over passive filters. So the available active devices have limited bandwidth, so they're impractical at high frequencies. Similarly, amplifiers consume power and inject noise in the system. So these are the following advantages of active filters over passive filters and some disadvantages of active filters over passive filters. So let us go through some applications of filter circuits. Here are the following applications. That is, the filter circuits are used to eliminate background noise. They are also used in ready tuning to a specific frequency, used in equalization, tone control in audio system. They are also used in signal processing circuits and data conversion. And filter circuits are extensively used in medical electronic systems. So that's all for the last part of the filters. We have discussed successfully, completed successfully all the filter designs, the applications, their advantages and disadvantages. Thank you.